So right now, I want to do something really fun with you. I want to take this to the next level. I want you to have a shift during this video. Right now, I want you to have a shift, and I want you to start believing in yourself. I want you to start believing that $500,000 a month is actually easy. Your life is just a movie. Everything that you're experiencing within your reality right now is just a holographic simulation. None of it's real, but you can control it simply by holding your attention on an idea or a visual scene from an event that you want to happen in your world. And you actually shift movies when you do this. Literally, if you decide right now that you don't like the movie that you're living in, say you're working a 9 to 5, you're struggling, you have a lot of debt, you don't drive the car of your dreams, you're not living in the house of your dreams, you don't have the physique of your dreams, you don't have the relationship of your dreams, these things you can shift by simply developing your attention and your present moment awareness and learning how to visualize and feel yourself into a new movie. Because you're literally living in a movie right now. It's a holographic simulation that's all being created from within you and pushed out. That's why when you climb a ladder to sleep at night, like Neville Goddard suggested, you climb up and down this ladder as you're going to sleep, and all of a sudden you start seeing ladders everywhere. Why is this? It's because your imagination creates your reality. What you fall asleep with doing is going to happen to you. Next week, next month, next year, it's going to happen to you if you do it correctly. And the reason why the ladder exercise works so effectively is because who cares about climbing a ladder, right? Nobody's attached to climbing a ladder. So when you do that, you start seeing ladders everywhere and you're forced to climb a ladder. You haven't seen a ladder in 10 years. All of a sudden they're everywhere. You're climbing them. You can't even stop it because you visualize climbing a ladder. But now you try to change it to counting $100 bills and driving a sports car and living in the house of your dreams, and you're kind of like waiting for it to happen. You're like, where is it? Because there's an attachment to it, okay? The ladder, there's no attachment. Who cares about doing that? Who cares about climbing a ladder? There's no attachment to it. But when you can take that feeling of attachment or detachment that you had with the ladder exercise and associate that and connect that with money, or the house of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams, the health of your dreams, the physique of your dreams, you attach that detachment to those things the same way you did with that ladder, it's going to happen to you just as fast. But there's going to be a sequence, a bridge of incidents that's going to take place in your world that's going to make that happen. And when it happens, you'll look back and you'll be able to tell everybody why it happened. There may be some magical things that also happen to you within the movie in which you live when you start to shift, but you're going to be able to tell the story of how it happened. So you have to figure that out, okay? You have to figure out how you're going to tell. But knowing how it was actually created is the fun and magical part about this. It doesn't matter how it happens if it happens, right? When you start changing your concept of yourself within the simulation, within the movie, within yourself, when you're connected to that God particle, and you start shifting to these other movies, you're going to have a story to tell. You're going to be able to tell a lot of people about what happened to you, but it's going to be logical to them because they don't know the magical power that you have within you. So you can start unlocking that right now. And you begin by starting to appear or to visualize or to see your world as if it's a spiritual world and it's an invisible world and it's a simulation. It's just a movie rather than looking at things as if they're real, as if there's solid objects in the reality. And you got to work so hard to get this and it can never happen anyways. You have to change your thinking by holding your attention and repositioning your focus on feeling states of your wish fulfilled, that this is actually possible and knowing that your world isn't real, that it's actually a movie. This is a huge step that will take you and propel you and push you towards that world in which you want to live simply by knowing this and repeating this in your mind throughout the day. I know I'm living in a simulation. I know that my world isn't real. I don't have to fear anything. I can create things with ease. I can use this magical exercise and imagination to create the world in which I want to live in. You start repeating these affirmations, start solidifying your belief that your world isn't real. And once you change what you consent to being true, you've literally changed your concept of yourself. Because remember, beliefs are very similar to what can be created within your reality. But when a belief becomes a knowing, it has to happen to you. So once you change a belief, a temporary belief, oh, I know I'm living in a simulation, into a knowing I'm living in a simulation, that's when the magic really starts coming into fruition into your world. So right now, I want to do something really fun with you. I want to take this to the next level. I want you to have a shift during this video. Right now, I want you to have a shift, and I want you to start believing in yourself. I want you to start believing that $500,000 a month is actually easy. So I want you to contemplate this within your mind, within the structure of your concept of yourself right now. And how far are you away from believing that this is possible for you? That you can make $500,000 a month easily. And when you believe that it can be easy, and when you believe that your world is a simulation, you're actually living in a high-tech simulated game. It's just a movie in which you can shift to a world where your identity actually believes this, that it's easy, where you're actually making that much money. Because there's an infinite amount of realities that coexist simultaneously right now, an infinite amount of parallel realities. And in one of those realities, there's a version of you that is making that money. And even more than that, a lot more than that. But we're going to connect you with that version of yourself. So who is that version? I want you to contemplate that version of yourself. What would that version of yourself feel? What would they be doing every day? How would they feel? How would they act? What would be the inner talking and inner dialogue that's going on in that version of you in their mind? What's the automatic concept of self or the inner talking that's actually happening in that version of yourself? Contemplate these things. Think and question these things. Question this concept of yourself, because you can do it. I believe in you. All you have to do is, what I want is for you to believe in you, because that's what's necessary in order for you to shift to that movie where you're the star actor and you're making that money. You're making that $500,000 a month, and it's easy for you because you believe it can be easy. So you need to connect with that version of yourself. So take a moment and visualize it. See the picture in your mind of this reality in which you live, where this has already happened to you. And connect with that feeling, that identity, that concept of yourself that's already living this life. And sometimes it's not so much what you're doing, it's about what you shouldn't be doing. In that version of you, try to eliminate certain things in your life as you start to feel this concept of yourself. If I was making $500,000 a month, would I be not investing my time? Would I not be pushing to grow this business or excel here or make these calls or do this, grow this channel, turn the camera on, networking, connecting with other people? Would I be wasting my time sitting on the couch, debating, gossiping, watching the news, waiting for this? No, you wouldn't. That version of you is magical, is powerful, knows what they want, and doesn't waste any time. They invest every second of their day because that's who they are. They don't waste any time in regret, in reactions, in the news, gossiping. They don't really spend their time doing anything but enjoying the present moment and growing and investing in their business and themselves. That's who you need to become right now. So start doing this on a daily basis. Tell yourself, I know that I'm living in a simulation. I know that my world's not real, and I can connect to this version of myself, and I can actually act. I can be the new actor when I wake up in the morning, that this is actually who I am. And you'll start to see magical things start to happen to you when you start acting as if you are already this person. It's very magical. and it will happen to you if you do what I say to do. If you can do this, you can contemplate this, and you could expand your mind and just know that your world isn't real and that anything is possible to you. And it's easy for you to make $500,000 a month. You must believe this in order to create it. And it's very simple. Once you start saying this to yourself, start catching your attention and start redirecting your concept of yourself and stop wasting your time becoming this version of yourself, and watch and wait and see the magic that's going to happen very, very quickly in your world. And I want you to know that you can do this. It doesn't have to be something where everyone else can do this but you. I want you to shift that. I want you to change that. I want you to start believing in yourself. Start believing that this is something that you can do, that I can do. I want you to say it. I can do this. I believe in myself. I am confident in myself. And I want you to start feeling this and let it take over your concept of yourself, because it is so true, but you must believe it for yourself. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.